today for a specific reason. This march, this gathering is essentially a purpose-driven opportunity for working class people to come together and to take back our rights. And we've decided to do it on a significant day. We've decided to do it on a significant weekend, this Poor People's Campaign. It's a campaign that cannot be lost in the pages of history. It's a campaign that was launched because Dr. King understood the urgency of then, which is essentially the urgency of now. He understood the urgency of making sure working class people had jobs, that they had quality housing, that there was in fact a real living wage.
We want a living wage. We want health care. And we know $1 billion industry that we work for, the #1 company in the country, can afford to take care of the workers. Stop the intimidation. Stop belittling these people. Give them 3 shifts. And now we're going to start saying we want 15 plus, and that means we want $15 an hour, and just to start. And they can afford that. They can afford that and better.
I bring you greetings from the National Southern Christian Leadership Conference.
Yeah.
And if Dr. King was living today, he would still be disappointed.
Yes.
Because very few people are talking about poor people.
That's right.
So I congratulate you to stand out here in the rain and remind people that there are still poor people in this country.
That's right.
Not just middle class.
Say it.
Right.
Not just the underemployed.
That's right.
Not just unemployed. Because you can be working and be poor.
Right.
And that is exactly what we're walking for today.
We come from Selma, but we know it is a united struggle, and that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The main thing I want to say to my brothers and sisters is we cannot be single focused. Some of us just want to fight for welfare rights and employment rights and job rights and environment rights, but this is one enemy and one struggle. In Tuskegee, 2,000 jobs have been lost because they violated the Voting Rights Act.
We are the problem. America don't want us. And they doing everything possible not to take care of us. If you look at the Walmart workers, 1.4 million work below the poverty level for wages. If you look at the federal government right now, 2 million people make less than $24,000 a year. Something wrong with that picture.
Say it. Say it.
Something wrong with that picture.
Say it.
They want 2 classes of people in this country. They want the rich and they want the poor.
That's right.
Y'all ain't poor. Y'all give a lot to this country, and we gave a lot.
We're working class.
But we have to get busy, go back into your communities, and work. We're getting young people involved. It is our responsibility to make sure that they get involved.
He understood that it was critical for us to ensure that black men were not being stopped in the streets, stopped and frisked, suffering from racial profiling and police brutality.
To be brutally beaten by at least 3 officers for allegedly going through a stop sign in the United States of America in 2013, when you have a black president, President Obama, it's just outrageous. How far have we really come?
Came here to represent my son. Only due to the fact that I didn't get that recognition. I didn't get any help from any of our leaders there in Providence, Rhode Island. I found that as a mother, I found that as a mother, hearing my son call out my name and I wasn't there to be able to help him.
Maybe black Americans have their cancellations and we Latinos have the deportation. And it's the same thing. We had to fight police brutality and the terror of the police. We had to fight it because they are trying to kill all of us. And we had to be united.
We are making history today. Not because we are like the original Poor People's Campaign. We hope in a year we will gather steam throughout this country to have the dream that Dr. King fought for and go and occupy D.C. the way that he originally talked about.
We're going to go on a mission on May 28th, and we're going to do the same walk as Martin Luther King. We're going to take his journey from here in the state of Maryland all the way to Bentonville, Arkansas, to occupy Bentonville. Us workers will be on strike. Walmart workers that join us across the country shall go on strike. But we want to ask that you join us, and if not join us, support us.
Because we've got to go occupy Bentonville. We've got to tell Walmart that we won't tolerate what they're doing anymore to any of us, because an injustice to one is an injustice to all. And we won't let anybody, no matter how big or small, stand alone.
We need to change our country back, and the only way that we can do that is together.
Standing together, being as one.
Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can ever turn me back. This land was made for you and me.
We're not concerned about terrorists in other countries. We're concerned about folk working at the taxpayers' expense, shooting our children and killing them in the streets.
Yes.
All power to the people! All power to the people! All power to the people!
All power to the people!
All right, so we stand here today. We're excited about this campaign. We're excited to come out here and stand with you in your plight and our plight for justice and equality. I am the mother of murdered victim Alan Dwayne Bluford, who was 18 years old, and last year, on May 6th of 2012, he was senselessly, cold-bloodedly,
That's right.
tragically shot down, stood over and shot down while he was on his back by the Oakland Police Department, who have since then decided that that was justified. But we all know that lies tell lies, and then you gotta tell more lies. We from the beginning have stood up and said, no way, this will not be okay. There's no way that my son is going to die in vain. There's no way that you are going to live free and happily ever after. We are demanding that the officer Miguel Masso is prosecuted and jailed for murder. I want to lift my sister up. She's not heavy. If you don't know it, I want to lift my sister up. She's not heavy. I want to lift my sister up. She's not heavy. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. I want to lift my sisters. I want to lift my sister up. She's not heavy.
She's my sister.
I want to lift my sisters up. They're not heavy. I want to lift my sisters. I want to lift my sister up. She's not heavy. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down.
Stephen Beatty Jr.
Stephen Beatty Jr., and you live here in Baltimore.
Yes.
You saw us coming by and decided to join us?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful brother.
Cool. Thank you.
Come on, we can do this.
If we don't use this precious rights and vote, we people's campaign. Been marching for justice a long time. I'm not tired. I said, I'm not tired. I said, no, I'm not tired. Been marching for people a long time. I'm not tired. Just a little bit. Been marching for black people a long time. I'm not tired. Been marching for people a long time. I'm not tired. Been marching for freedom a long time. I'm not tired. I said, I'm not tired. I said, I'm not tired.
The greatest monument we can erect in his memory, in the memory of Malcolm X, and the memory of all of our great leaders, and in the memory of all of our people who have suffered and struggled and died at the hands of a violent oppressor, is to build the world that Dr. King talked about, to build the world that they talked about and struggled for. It's a world that puts an end to all the suffering and poverty of police brutality and all the other forms of oppression and repression that we are struggling and fighting against.
Our black and brown and poor mothers, they're concerned about burying their children because police officers of the state have killed them. And so because we give a damn, because we care about each other, what we want to do today is to raise two proposals in regards to police terror. The first proposal is, we propose, number one, to hold a national tribunal on the issue of police terror. A national tribunal, virtual tribunal on police terror. We're proposing to host it virtually so that people all over this country can participate and tell their stories and indict the state and indict the nation, a citizen's indictment on this nation as it relates to police terror. So we're raising that particular proposal. The next one is an organizing tool, we believe, because we know how Washington works. However, we also know that some people have filed complaints here in Washington in relationship to police terror. So we're going to push for congressional hearings on the issue of police terrorism. So it's critical that we take these very, very strong positions because we need to be able to hold leadership accountable on this issue. We need to get them on the record so that we can so that we can confirm whose side they really are.
This particular action is deeply important because the walk was very important to us, and so is this convening of this assembly. But what we really want to do is take something from being symbolic to something that really can exert power. And if the mood is right and people are ready, and there's no way that we'll know till we really get out there, but poverty has increased so badly that we feel that in the course of what we did in Baltimore, in the course of the walk, we feel that with a year's time of really building up to it, next year we want to come back to Washington, D.C. With thousands of people to really realize that dream and stay in Washington and have a lobby with our feet.
None of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. One of us is chained. None of us are free. 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 One of us is chained. None of us are free. None of us. None of us. Ooh, ooh. None of us. 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 None of us are free. Everybody. None of us. None of us. None of us. None of us. None of us, none of us, none of us are free. Ooh, ooh, ooh.